The United Kingdom's largest luxury retailer is the Burberry Group, a 154-year-old company that once made raincoats for the British Army. This iconic brand now has global scope and high-end consumers. Joining me now is Burberry Group CEO, Angela Arendt. Angela, it is good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you as well. Thanks for joining us. Now, you're an American woman from the Midwest running this luxury brand. How is this area of retail doing right now versus other areas? You know, when you think about a raincoat, more than $1,000 is a lot for some people to pay for a raincoat.
It is, but I think the difference is when they know that they're going to get a return on that investment for 20 years on average. I think it's psychologically a very different purchase. I mean, it's an investment purchase, not just a fashion purchase.
Here in Europe, people are talking about the problems in Greece, talking about an economy that is slow, and yet there seems to be a real shift toward the East. I know you have increasingly a lot of focus on Asia, and you've got, 44 stores in China. Where's the growth coming from? Is it Asia, Mideast, U.S., Europe? Where would you say really are the main bright spots in the business?
You know, it's actually interesting because we just reported every market up almost double digits, with America up high single digits. So again, great brand, pretty solid around. But I would tell you that the emerging markets, like you said, China, Asia, markets where you have currency on your side, UK, Korea, or just high growth emerging markets are absolutely outpacing. India, Latin America. China's a little further up on the trend curve right now.
Burberry's runway show during London Fashion Week also created a 3D experience, right? You tied locations around the world. How is technology, whether it's 3D or social networking, mobile phone applications, changing the business?
Oh, it's changing it dramatically and dynamically. I mean, it can't even be a part of your 5-year plan. I mean, it's happening so quickly. But I think what it is it's also allowing you to go back to some of the old traditional metrics because the reach is just unbelievable. We hit 1 million friends on Facebook today, so it was kind of a monumental moment.
That's terrific.
Yeah, the largest in the sector, so by a long shot. But Christopher goes on every week and talks to the customers.
Creative director.
Yes, Chief Creative Officer, Christopher Bailey. Incredibly talented, but he talks to the consumer about what's coming and about, the week before we were streaming the show, he's in the design studio talking to customers about what's coming and how excited he is. So really, it can be so inclusive, and you've got the music. The customer can really feel the brand and feel the culture of the brand.
I wonder how that's impacting the consumer shopping experience. I mean, when you're looking at a show in 3D, does that impact the clothes, the way they look? In other words, can you see the fabrics more clearly? Can you get a better idea of the cut? Tell me about the shopping experience and how it's changing for people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you get much more detail. And in our case, he did a lot of shearlings and he did a lot of buckles and details. So, and depending on the sophistication of your system, I mean, you can zoom in, etc. But we actually did something else that was really fun, and I think was kind of another first, is we actually did runway to reality. So those people who were emailing in, you could actually click and buy and have that item delivered in 4 weeks.
Oh, wow, that's terrific. Now, you're really focusing on the young consumer, right? I mean, a younger demographic, and I guess choosing Emma Watson from the Harry Potter movies as the face of the brand tells you that. Tell me about that demographic. Can young shoppers afford luxury?
A lot of them can, but I think, we call that the millennial consumer. But I think the most important thing is Emma's really ageless. Emma's timeless. I mean, she happens to be young, but her look is very modern, classic. And we've always said we don't want to do anything to walk a core consumer. I mean, they're vital to the business, and we've got a nice growing children's business. So we play pretty broad. We say cross-generational, if you will.
Now, Burberry's signature plaid, that really is it just screams Burberry. Everybody knows that plaid, and it dates back to the 1920s, and yet you've got wannabes around. You're suing discount retailer TJ Maxx for selling counterfeit that version of the Burberry items and that signature plaid. How big of a problem is that in the retail industry?
In some respects, you're flattered by it because the hotter you get, the more that people try to do it.
Right, the wannabes, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But we just keep reinforcing it, and we keep trying to add tremendous innovation in it. So Christopher will cut it on the bias, he'll explode it, he'll do different colors in it, etc. And I think the more innovative we make it, the more obvious the fakes become.
Are you a big shopper of the new items in the collection, or do you wear the same sort of signature items? I mean, how has the brand dictated what you're doing?
That's a great question. It's funny because when I started, no. But we put in a great team of people, great design team, great merchants, and now I will tell you, actually, it'll be a funny quote. We had a runway show, and after the show, everyone was talking, and one of the guys said, oh, it was so fabulous, I'm going to have to get a new closet. And the other guy said, no, I'm going to have to move. I mean, because we just live in the clothes, we just wear it, and I think that's a big part of the success, though, because, we're feeling what the customer wants, and we are the customer.
Good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
So appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Angela Arendt's joining us, CEO of Burberry. Up next on the Wall Street Journal Report, a look at the news this week that will have an impact on your money, and the place where British monarchs take the throne is getting a new look. More on that when we come back from London this weekend.